The portrayal of George Cooper Sr.'s death in Young Sheldon sparked diverse reactions, especially among fans who felt that his passing was less impactful because it wasn't shown on screen. George's character, the patriarch of the Cooper family, serves as a complex figure. A flawed but loving father, struggling to balance his family's needs with his own challenges. However, his absence in The Big Bang Theory looms over the show's events, casting an almost mythical shadow over Sheldon's backstory. So, when young Sheldon reached the point in the timeline leading to George's death, it was met with much anticipation and expectation. Yet, the decision not to show his death on screen has led many to feel that a crucial emotional payoff was lost. To understand why the choice to omit George's death from the screen had such an impact, we must consider the show's context and audience expectations. Young Sheldon serves as both a family sitcom and a prequel, offering new layers to Sheldon's character and giving depth to his family, particularly George Sr., who was previously only mentioned through Sheldon's filtered memories. Through Young Sheldon, we get to see George in a more sympathetic light. He's a relatable figure, often overworked and misunderstood, carrying the weight of his family's burdens. Fans got to know George not just as Sheldon's father, but as a character in his own right, complete with virtues and flaws. With this deeper emotional investment, viewers expected a similarly nuanced conclusion to his story arc. Had George's death been shown on screen, the audience might have had a more profound emotional response. In storytelling, certain key events, especially those as final as death, hold a particular significance because they provide closure. Showing George's death could have served as an emotional bridge, connecting young Sheldon to the Big Bang Theory in a powerful way. It would have allowed viewers to witness the character's final moments, potentially offering insights into his thoughts, regrets, or hopes for his family's future. Instead, the decision to sidestep this event felt, to many, like a missed opportunity to deepen the narrative impact and give fans a more profound, emotional ending to George's journey. Some fans argue that young Sheldon has a responsibility to faithfully represent the history that the Big Bang Theory set up. In that series, George Sr.'s death plays a significant role in shaping Sheldon's personality and his relationship with his family. Sheldon's complicated feelings toward his father are rooted in regret and loss. He's haunted by unresolved feelings, which shape his need for control and his difficulty connecting with others. Not showing George's death denies viewers the chance to fully appreciate this transformation in Sheldon. Watching his father's passing would have given viewers a rare look at young Sheldon's raw, unguarded emotions, perhaps helping us understand his later reluctance to confront his grief. There's also a structural element to consider. TV shows often build momentum and emotional stakes around pivotal events like a character's death. Think of how The Big Bang Theory introduced George Sr.'s death as a significant milestone in Sheldon's life. Fans of both series were, in some ways, counting down to this moment in young Sheldon, expecting that the event would be handled with the same gravity it holds in Sheldon's memories. By opting not to show George's death, the writers risked breaking this implicit promise to the audience. Many felt the show sidestepped an opportunity for growth and emotional intensity by glossing over George's death rather than exploring it fully. However, there's an argument to be made that young Sheldon deliberately chose to omit the scene to preserve a sense of subtlety or even optimism. Death can be a challenging topic in family sitcoms, and young Sheldon has maintained a delicate balance between comedy and drama. The show often leans into a more lighthearted tone, choosing to focus on family dynamics and young Sheldon's unique worldview rather than diving into heavy themes. Not showing George's death might have been an effort to keep the series in line with its lighter, nostalgic tone. Showing his death on screen could have risked taking the show to a darker place than it typically inhabits, potentially alienating part of its audience who appreciate the series' blend of humor and warmth. Additionally, by not showing George's death, the creators might have hoped to give the event a sense of ambiguity or open-endedness. Sometimes, what's left unsaid or unseen can hold its own power in storytelling. Viewers know that George is going to die, and that knowledge alone casts a bittersweet shadow over the show. The audience is left with the sense that George's life was cut short, that he never got the chance to mend his strained relationships with his family fully. This unresolved tension mirrors real-life experiences, where we often don't get the closure we desire. In that sense, leaving George's death off-screen might have been an artistic choice aimed at emphasizing the character's unfinished journey. Still, some fans feel that the narrative choice may have inadvertently sent the message that George's character arc was not as significant as it could have been. Throughout Young Sheldon, George is portrayed as a multi-dimensional character, a devoted father, a man weighed down by his regrets, and a figure who, despite his imperfections, profoundly loves his family. His death, if shown, could have provided a powerful scene that would resonate with audiences, paying homage to his complexities. When the writers chose not to show his death, it may have felt like they downplayed his significance, unintentionally undermining the emotional weight of his character's journey. One could argue that the choice to omit George's death was a decision made for pacing and storyline cohesion. Young Sheldon isn't only Sheldon's story. It's a story about the entire Cooper family, each of whom has their own arc. Perhaps the creators didn't want George's death to overshadow other character developments, or feared that dedicating an entire arc to his death might pull the show into a darker direction than intended. In contrast, if we look at other series where significant deaths occur on screen, these moments are often used as a turning point for the remaining characters. However, Young Sheldon is designed to maintain a certain episodic lightness, and showing George's death might have compromised that tone. In the end, though, the emotional impact of George Sr.'s passing in Young Sheldon likely does feel diminished without an on-screen portrayal, at least for fans who followed his character arc closely. Without that final scene to bring closure, George's story feels somewhat incomplete. Perhaps it's an invitation to the audience to fill in the gaps with their own imaginations, or maybe it's a quiet reminder of the nature of loss itself. How it often happens out of view, without fanfare, and with lingering questions. In that way, while not seeing George's death may reduce its immediate impact, it subtly reminds viewers of his ongoing presence in Sheldon's life, and how profound an influence he remains, even when he isn't directly seen.